Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 10 o'clock, November 17th. A little bit delayed tonight because of nice bus. You'll find out why in a moment. I'm going to have to shave a couple minutes off this weather update just because I'm running behind schedule. Other stuff I got to do. So you can see here we got some clouds. I see some lake effect debris and some of the clouds around. We did have a lot of sun and a lot of clouds today. This is what it looked like today. The satellite image you could see. Well, there you go. Pretty decent amount of clouds popping up across our area today. So you can see that there. Sun and some passing clouds, as a result of the instability. Also, lake effect moisture trapped underneath an inversion. And speaking of lake effect, you'll see they've got lake effect snow warnings up for a lot of areas upstate. They're getting some pretty heavy lake effect snows right now upstate in areas along the lakes here. You can see that. Buffalo and also on the east side of the lakes here. You see here around Watertown. They're getting hit pretty hard over there with the lake effect snow. Looking at the radar here, which should be here. Here you go. These are some of the snow bands setting up here. So you can see, look at that. Oswego really getting pounded. And it's actually going into Syracuse. You see the debris is actually making it up to Albany a little bit here. Here's another batch around Buffalo. And, maybe even be lightning in these lake effect snows too as well. We'll check for that as well. No, I'm not seeing any lightning in them. But you can't put it out of the question. There could be lightning because we're going to have a lot of lake effect snows and quite remarkable actually. So let's go to the current conditions outside right now, and you will see that we've got temperatures generally around 40 degrees, upper 30s to around 40, but quite blustery. Looks like there is a little radiational cooling though going on in New Jersey, where the winds are a little lighter, down to 31 there and 28. In Coyle Field there. We're not seeing that on Long Island, though. The winds are up pretty high here, 38 degrees at Islip, 37 at MacArthur. I mean, not MacArthur, but West Hampton. And you see what the day was like today. Temperatures generally were only in the mid-40s, and we did have a decent amount of cloud cover, few to scattered to broken clouds. It wasn't clear at any time today. Well, actually, it was showing clear skies for a little bit, I guess, in the morning. But you can see that strong west wind and dew points in the 20s. So cold, dry air in place. Looking at our highs and lows, we'll go to the highs first. And you can see highs generally were in the mid-40s, some upper 40s out there. A little cooler in New Jersey with mid-40s there, but generally mid to maybe some upper 40s. But generally mid-40s, and lows generally in the mid-30s. So it looks like there was some, that's actually current, that 28. So there is some radiational cooling taking place in New Jersey, I guess, where there's some lighter winds and a little less cloud cover. I guess looking at this, you can see there's not too much cloud cover over there. So looking at the models, you see this high, big high building in, and that's going to bring us the cold air. And look at how big that high is. It stretches all the way from the east of the Rockies all the way down. You can see the center of that high starts building over us Monday. As we head into Tuesday, still under the influence of that high pressure, and then it slowly moves offshore as we get toward Thanksgiving, and our next chance of precipitation would be a week from today with this next storm system coming for the day after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving itself looks dry right now. That's all because we have a trough. If we look at the upper air here, which I'll show you briefly here, because our schedule got messed up. You'll see that troughiness there in the east, though. As we get toward next week, you start seeing a little bit of another trough coming through. So that looks like we're in an active pattern. There'll be more cold air to come. I'm not going to go too much into the long range, but I'll just explain to you why we have the cold air in place. So let's go look at northeast here, and we'll go to the HRRR model. 0 is the HRRR. And you see here we have that lake effect, and that's going to accumulate quite a bit over there. You can see the lake effect, and some of it we have a secondary cold front that's going to come through tomorrow night that may actually bring a chance of a few flakes, perhaps a flurry, or maybe a couple of raindrops tomorrow night around 8 o'clock or so. And then more cold air overspreads the area behind that. That's almost like a secondary cold front. If we look at the total snowfall, which I'll do first, we'll run this out till Sunday. You can take a look at some of these totals. Yes, that's right. 3 feet of snow perhaps in these areas. This is going to be crazy amounts of lake effect snow. Those lakes are very warm. We haven't had a whole lot of cold air. Now all of a sudden it's going to be coming in really strong, and that westerly trajectory really maximizes the amount of time the air is spent over the lakes to pick up moisture. So looking at your dew points and winds, the winds do get a little lighter, still on the breezy side, west winds. But you can see here, and I'm showing you this, you can see that even drier batch of air coming in where those almost purple shadings are and those light shadings are over Ohio. That is going to bring, that's even colder air that's going to be coming in. So if we look at our temperatures here, as we head into tomorrow, again, we'll have lows probably below freezing tonight. Probably a lot of areas going to get below freezing, probably around 30 degrees. And for tomorrow, you can see we'll be into the low to mid 40s, probably mid 40s. Well, it's underestimated a little bit. I'll say mid 40s. But then after that, once that secondary cold front comes through, look at as we get to Saturday, 20s. You'll be waking up to upper 20s, and then for Saturday, we're gonna struggle to reach that 40-degree mark. May not even get there. Looking at the GFS here, to go a little further, showing you the dew points and wind flows as we head into Sunday. You see we have that. Look at that. Look at Sunday. That's when we really get into that really dry, cold air. That should be a really nice day for skies here in the west-northwest winds. Depending, of course, if we have the lake effect or not. But it is drier air, so lake effect would be more likely to dry up. And then as we get into Monday, the winds go more of a west-southwesterly direction. And Tuesday, it actually goes back to the northwest a little bit. And then as we get into Wednesday, that's when we'll see the wind shift a little more westerly, and that's when the warmer air comes up as we get our next chance of precipitation. So looking at your temperatures, here we are. Look at that Sunday. We're only going to be in the 30s Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be pretty chilly. Monday, maybe trying to get up to 40, and then Tuesday we'll recover, get a little warmer, probably into the mid-40s for highs. And then we'll see that moderation trend as we get toward Wednesday. I'm not really focusing too much on the long range, but you'll see as we get toward Thanksgiving, it will warm up with that rain. And there could be a surge of warm air with that, a brief surge of warm air with that rainstorm. All right. That is way out in the future right now. And that would be, again, for Black Friday. It could be a wet Black Friday. So looking at this, you'll see, again, we've got that cold air. And again, if we pull this out and we go and we look at the CONUS view, kind of shows you where the cold air is, and you can see where, look at that second batch. You can see that second batch coming down Sunday into Monday there, all right, and then it starts improving a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty quick, good shot of it. So let's go look at our skies next, and you will see here that as we get into the Saturday, should be fairly clear. Tomorrow, we'll still have to watch for that possibility of clouds. This, again, is the GFS. But you see, we should have sunshine. But, again, we've got to watch out for the lake effect, cloudiness, perhaps, and see how that affects the weather. But we should have a dry stretch here, plenty of sunshine. Obviously, there was a lot of clouds around today, but maybe tomorrow there'll be a little less. This is the RGEM. Actually, 0 is the RGEM. And you'll see here, it is showing less cloudiness for tomorrow than it did for today. And then as far as you see that batch of clouds coming in, this is, again, that secondary cold front, and then that comes through. A little wave goes to the south on Saturday, but for over Long Island, it looks like it would be clear. However, there are other models that have different ideas, and that's why I'm going to show the Ventu Sky model right now. Because this one's been a little more accurate with the clouds. So here we are with the Ventu Sky, looking at your Friday. You see at 8 o'clock, see it looks pretty clear, but then as we get to 11 o'clock, you start seeing those clouds develop. And then by you get to noon, might be a decent amount of these clouds popping up. We'll have to see exactly what happens. And you can see this batch of clouds here, that's your secondary cold front right there. There it is, right there. That's your secondary cold front. So by 2 o'clock, it's clouding over fairly decently across our area with that secondary cold front. Let me go to the Climate Weather Prediction Center and Climate Prediction Center here. So there's your secondary cold front right there. There it is. All right. And that will be coming through again tomorrow night. And if we look at the Climate Prediction Center, you'll see that we have the below normal temperatures in place on the 6 to 10 day. 8 to 14, we're still below. So we're going to be a cold pattern this month. So we do have colder weather than we normally have. Obviously, for a change, instead of being well above normal, we're below normal. And again, that all is due to the due to the jet stream pattern. So if we go here and I look at that North American, you can sort of see here. Yeah, that's the you see that trough. I don't usually show you this view, but you can sort of see. It shows you the heights. Look at that. You can see that trough come in there. So that's why. And again, you see that big ridge there in Alaska. There it is. Look at that huge ridge right there. That is what's pushing all that cold air down. And we show the jet stream here. See, look at that big ridge there. That's a huge ridge. So in Alaska, it might be colder in a lot of parts of the United States right now than it is in Alaska, believe it or not. In fact, let's go and take a look and see what it is in Alaska right now. We'll pull this out and we'll take a look and show you the conditions in Alaska, because kind of visualize this pattern. This is, again, kind of abnormal, but and this is just a big trough in the whole, like most of the country here. Let's see, it's not loading. All right, well, what we can do, Ventu Sky would rather work. We'll show you on Ventu Sky. Pull this out here. Yeah, it actually doesn't show up too well, I guess. It is pretty chilly in Alaska. But there is a big ridge there. This is, I'm going to have to go back a little bit during... there is, I guess it is pretty chilly in Alaska, but I think the temperatures are going to go up. They're going to rise. Let's see. Got that. Yeah, there's a big ridge there. The ridge is sort of, I guess the ridge is just to the south of Alaska, I guess. But I guess at least they're not experiencing some crazy warmth in Alaska. But for them, it's not that cold. 19 degrees at this time of the year. But you can see there's the really cold air up there. So, yeah, it kind of just shows you the pattern we're in. So, yeah, you can see in the west coast, very much above normal. So that's where the ridge is. It's in the west. You can see right here, there's that ridge in the west. And if we look at temperature anomaly chart, that's why I like using this better. You can see there are some high temperature anomalies there in Alaska with that ridge. But you can see much of the U.S. below normal, much of it below normal. So it's a big, big trough, which is something we haven't seen in a while. But you can see going forward that there is some moderation as we get toward the latter part of the month, where we will see some above normal temperatures return to the east. But I think we'll see more cold air, hopefully, more of this cold air as we get through the winter, hopefully. Because it's very important to have the cold air for many, many reasons, as I've stated many times in the past here. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. And again, we've got the lake effects going upstate. And if we go look at total snowfall on here, which we can do here, move this up and kind of show you here how much snowfall is going to fall. You can see again 3 feet, as much as 3 feet up there, upstate in New York right now, which is, again, pretty remarkable when you think about it. I'm curious to see if there are any traffic cameras in these areas. Let's see. And they do have, travel bans upstate too, as well, places like this. Let's see if we can get some images from some of these cameras and show you what it's like going on in Watertown. It doesn't look too bad in Watertown right now, actually. And maybe that band is not over that area. Maybe it's over here. No, nothing going on there either. Let's see. The band might be further north. It looks like they're getting pounded around Oswego. Let's see if we can find something around Oswego. I just want to look at these this is pretty interesting. You can see it looks like we've got travel restrictions here. Let's see what it looks like over here. Oh, yeah, there you go. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right there. Look at that. Almost a whiteout. That's heavy, heavy snow right there. So that's what they're in right there upstate. It's pretty remarkable. These are going to be some pretty historic lake effect snows for sure. So I guess that's going to, yeah, there's Oswego right there. So let's see. We have a closure right around Oswego right here. Down Paul and down Tree. So, yeah, these storms, they have high winds too with them. They can cause power outages. So we can look at Power Outage US, show you if they have causing. We have about 3,500 power outages. Yeah, Oswego County, down Paul, you can see that's affecting about 1,000 plus customers there. So, yeah, it's going to be rough for upstate. But for us, we should be okay. As far as it's just going to be cold and dry, well, just the way I like it anyway. So that wraps up this weather update. Good thing I had time to do this, do with these some weather updates, because I usually don't when Friday and the weekend comes. But there you go, and you can see all those ocean effect clouds there. It's the cold air coming in, and And it's going to be with us for a while, so if you like it, enjoy. And if you don't, well, you can always go further south, I guess. Hopefully we get some more sunshine so we can at least get out there and see some nice blue skies, which we haven't seen again lately. But I'm thinking as that bone dry air comes in that we saw on the models towards Sunday, I think we'd have nicer skies. So we could still be dealing with some clouds tomorrow, perhaps. We'll have to see how it turns out. Sometimes it's hard to tell until the morning. Have a good night.